Philippines is known for its stunning landscapes, but my experience working at a quaint lakeside hotel near Taal Lake would forever change how I saw this picturesque country. I had taken the job at the hotel's front desk to escape the hustle and bustle of Manila, and for the most part, life was peaceful. But the night shift brought with it a sense of isolation that left me vulnerable to the unexplainable. One eerie evening, as the clock struck midnight, the lobby was bathed in the soft glow of dimly lit lamps. Outside, the surface of Taal Lake shimmered like a sheet of black glass, while the moon hung low, casting eerie shadows through the hotel's tall windows. The hotel had a history, one whispered about among the locals. It was said to be haunted, but I had dismissed those stories as mere superstitions. That night, however, I would come face to face with the inexplicable. A soft rustling drew my attention to the hotel's grand staircase. I peered into the shadows and saw the figure of a woman, draped in a flowing white dress, descending the steps slowly. My heart raced as I realized she was coming straight for me. "Ma'am, can I help you?" I called out, my voice trembling. The woman didn't respond. Instead, she continued her eerie descent, her long, dark hair cascading down her back. She seemed ethereal, her feet barely touching the ground. As she reached the bottom of the staircase, she turned to face me, her face hidden in the shadows. Her presence was suffocating, and I could feel a cold chill spreading through the room. "Are you a guest?" I asked again, my fear intensifying. The woman slowly raised her head, revealing pale, lifeless eyes that seemed to pierce through my very soul. With a voice that sounded like a whisper and a scream all at once, she said, "Help me." My blood ran cold. I knew I had to get out of there, but my legs refused to move. The woman took a step closer, and I finally broke free from my paralysis. I rushed toward the front door, fumbling with the keys to unlock it. As I stepped out onto the hotel's porch, I glanced back one last time, and the woman was gone. The lobby was empty, the darkness swallowing any trace of her presence. In the days that followed, I couldn't shake the feeling of dread that lingered in the hotel. I learned from the locals that the woman I had encountered was believed to be the spirit of a bride who had died tragically on her wedding day. Forever bound to the hotel, I resigned from my job, unable to bear the thought of another night shift in that haunted place. The memory of that encounter on the shores of Taal Lake still sends shivers down my spine, a chilling reminder that the line between the living and the dead can sometimes blur in the most unexpected of places. I used to think that working the late shift at the small convenience store in the heart of Manila was just another way to make ends meet. Little did I know that it would become a nightmarish experience that would haunt me forever. It was a typical evening in the Philippines, hot and humid, with the relentless buzz of jeepneys and the occasional roar of a motorcycle passing by. I had taken the job at the store to support my family, who relied on my income. The late shift was my shift, and I had gotten used to the solitude and eerie silence that settled in the city after dark. One night, as the clock neared midnight, an ominous feeling crept over me. The fluorescent lights flickered ominously, casting eerie shadows on the shelves lined with snacks, soft drinks, and assorted groceries. I glanced out the window and saw a lone stray dog, its eyes glowing with an unnatural red hue, staring at me from the darkness. Shaking off the unease, I turned my attention back to the store's surveillance cameras. They displayed the empty aisles and the deserted street outside. I could see my reflection on the screens, a tired face with dark circles under my eyes. It was a thankless job, but it paid the bills. Around 1 a.m., I heard it, a soft, almost imperceptible whisper coming from the back of the store. My heart skipped a beat as I strained to make out the words. "Help me," it whispered, barely audible, but distinct enough to send chills down my spine. I froze, the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end. Summoning my courage, I grabbed a flashlight and cautiously made my way toward the source of the sound, the storage room. The door creaked open, revealing a pitch-black space filled with boxes and crates. The voice seemed to emanate from the far corner. "Who's there?" I stammered, my voice trembling. The room was silent for a moment, and I was about to turn back when I heard it again, louder this time. "Help me." I shone my flashlight in the direction of the voice, and my blood ran cold. There, in the corner, stood a shadowy figure, barely discernible in the dim light. It was a young girl, no older than 10, her eyes hollow and filled with terror. She was drenched in mud and looked like she'd been through a nightmare. Without thinking, I rushed toward her, my heart pounding. "Are you okay?" I asked, my voice filled with concern. But as I reached out to touch her, she let out a bone-chilling scream that echoed through the room. Her face contorted into a grotesque mask of horror, and her once innocent eyes glowed with an eerie, malevolent light. She was no longer a helpless child. She was something else entirely. Terrified, I stumbled back, falling to the ground. The girl's distorted laughter filled the room as she vanished into thin air, leaving behind a chilling, otherworldly echo. I knew then that I had encountered something beyond explanation, a malevolent spirit that had lured me into its trap. Frantic and trembling, course, can't be explained, only endured in the darkness of the night.